Hey guys, welcome back to Two Shots of Rum. Okay, you might be wondering, where are you guys?
What's going on?
We have a super special and exciting episode for you guys today. We are interviewing Charlotte Leventhal, also known as Danielle's mom on Instagram. I'm sure you guys have heard of her. She's the best. With almost 10,000 followers, actually more than 10,000 followers.
Don't say almost.
She has a very interesting story and has a lot to share. So I don't want to talk for too long because this episode really isn't about us today.
Not at all.
So hi Charlotte, how are you?
Hi.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, so why don't you just tell us who you are, people who, if someone's seeing you for the first time on this podcast, who are you, and what are we gonna discuss a little bit today?
Okay, so my name's Charlotte. I came to Israel in 2017. I grew up Great Neck, New York, classic yeshiva league girl. And I always I feel like growing up, I had this vision for what my life was going to be like the classic yeshiva league girl comes to Israel and her life is just perfect after that, go to college, get married, dressing in such great style, but all snua. Anyway, I had this whole vision for myself. I thought life was just going to be so easy as long as I just found the perfect guy. But life took a lot of turns. I came to seminary, I was just okay, this really isn't for me. So what is for me? I kind of went out of my comfort zone. I found the army. I was okay, I'm going to stay here in Israel. I went to IDC for a tiny period. I was this isn't for me. I took a cooking course. I worked at a seminary for a year and a half. And then I also was in a long-term relationship doing long distance. I thought we were going to get married. We were planned on getting engaged, everything. We ended up breaking up. And then within a year of our breakup, I ended up meeting my husband, getting married to him. So literally from we broke up November, the next November I was getting married. And then I got married and Shana Rishona was so hard. And I was just what is going on? Where's my picture perfect life? And then just from there, I feel since we got married, things just started going downhill. I did end up getting pregnant, a planned pregnancy, everything, Baruch Hashem. And then he told me we were going to get divorced. We split up, we separated, then October 7th happened. I gave birth 2 weeks into October. I ended up having my daughter.
Adding another layer.
And he was off at Miluim. He happened to be home for the night, Baruch Hashem. I ended up going into labor and he stayed with me until our daughter was born. And then literally right after she was born, he's okay, I have to get back to base. I'm okay, great, see you later. Baruch Hashem, he came home 2 weeks later and we're okay, we're gonna give it another shot. Our marriage, we're gonna try. But the whole year was still just so focused on the war. So we really didn't have the time to put in the work that we would have needed, focus on our marriage. And by that September, so almost a year later, he was just it's over, we're getting divorced. Now I'm just trying to find who I am outside of one, just motherhood, because now I have so much time when I'm not with my daughter. So I just want to know who am I, what am I going to do during the time that she's not with me, what will I prioritize now? Also working, I was a stay-at-home mom. I did not think I'd ever be working again. I also, at the time, right before we split up, I started taking a course to become a doula. So I really have been throwing myself into that. And also just exploring my relationship with Hashem, building my own home. I want to build a home that's that I'm happy with and I feel at peace with, but also something that invites a new life to come, because I do hope, to get married again. And it would just be so easy if I love this apartment, I love my home now. I don't want to have to build a whole new one just because I'm married again. So I want it to be perfect for two girls, but also with the option that maybe a man will feel at home here too.
Yeah, for sure.
Getting emotional already. You're so amazing.
And through that, I don't know when exactly you started getting big on social media, but you now post about your journey and your feelings and your emotions with everything that you've been through. And what made you decide to like want to start posting about something that's like so personal and so different and like, you know, is not spoken about so much? So what made you want to post about that?
So I've always had like a private Instagram account just for like my like best friends. Like I had like my private Instagram that's like, you know, like everyone follows. And then I have like my like private one, which was like my best friends. I would post like the stupidest videos, like whatever like stuyot I was up to, like I would post it there. And I always had these like different like fun names. Like at one point it was Charlotta Fun. I always like loved it, and I would just come home from like a shopping spree, be like, hey guys, so like here's what I got. Or like when I was going to these like Miloim Wives events, I'd be like, okay, so here's the bag. Like let me show you guys the goodies that I got today. And it was so fun. Like I just like loved that vibe, but I was never like, oh yeah, like let me make this like public, even though like I always wanted to. Once I was married, I was like that mother that everyone would text and be like, hey, what do I do? Even when it came to like birth, like my like best friends, I got pregnant before like a lot of my like best friends. And so Baruch Hashem, I had like a very good time with it. Like I was very positive about all of it. So I was the friend that like people would text, be like, hey, what do I do? Like pregnancy, I'm nervous, or just like with my baby, they're at this stage, or like they haven't done this yet. So like I was that friend, and so a few of my friends and like even my husband at the time was like, you should totally do like Instagram, you know, just like open a page. Everyone would follow you, like talk about motherhood, talk about your life. And I really wanted to. Like I just love that vibe. I'm like, that's so like my personality, it goes. But I was going through so much in my marriage, and I was like, I just would be like, what am I gonna post? Like, hey, this is everything like I need for me and my husband to like spend Shabbat together, even though like Shabbat was so hard for me because it was like just us two, no phones, nothing. And like, I just would get all these feelings of like, well, our conversation isn't like, there just was so much emotion around Shabbat. So I was like, how could I then make a video of like, here's everything I'm cooking, like see how I set my table. Like it just felt like it would be so inauthentic. So I didn't want to do it. I kind of was like, oh no, whatever. And then I finished my doula course, and I wanted to like advertise my services on like a platform. So I was like, you know what, why not? Like instead of opening up like a whole new page, I'm just gonna like make my what was private account into like a public account for everyone. And I'm gonna like post a little bit like about my journey and like just like about like being a doula to like advertise it. And my first post was about like finishing my doula course.
This was while you were still married?
No, we were already divorced. We had been separated for about a year already. And so it was this past summer that like I started posting. I posted about my doula course, but my doula course also was very much so like, from the beginning, like I walked into my first day of class and I was like, I literally hadn't told I told maybe like 10 people that like I was getting to, like between like my family members that I hadn't even told all my siblings yet. And then like the like very, very few friends that like I told. And I walked into my doula course and they're like, so tell us about yourselves. I'm like, I'm Charlotte, I have a 1-year-old daughter, and like I'm getting divorced. And I literally was like tearing up saying it because like it was just so hard for me to say. But throughout, like my course was very much surrounded, it's called A Journey Within. So it's like you have to like find this like peace within you so that you can then go and be like the best doula possible, so that like you can show up for people like authentically, selflessly, so that you can really be there. So it's such a like journey from like, hi, I'm getting divorced, to like, well, now we're going to court. Now like I have my first night away from my daughter, which was like so hard for me. So like I just went through like, I just feel like this whole journey was so like intertwined with like my course. So when I had posted about it, because like I never imagined like finding like a different part of me, or like finding something outside of motherhood and like outside of being a wife. So now that I found it, I was like, wow, like it's all thanks to this course. Like I found myself here. So like I kind of like talked about it a little bit, and then I was just like, okay, like let's see what else I'll post. And I ended up talking like about the mikvah one time. I just like posted like a little like short video of like my last time going to the mikvah, like how it was just like so weird, and I wish that like I had like a real experience. and it just like got a lot of views.
And I found it also like that was so interesting that your doula course, like at least it sounded like it really matched up to where you were in your life at that time of like, you know, learning how to look within, and like that's literally exactly what you were doing at the time. Did you feel like you were able to recognize that at the time? Like, oh, this is exactly what I'm going through. Like how should I don't know, you know what I mean? Like how should I relate that or connect the two? Like what does that mean for me?
So it actually was like our first meeting. My teacher had us like write down, she was like, what makes you happy? And this was literally like less than a month since like we sat down and said like we're getting divorced. And it was also like right after the Chagim too. So like the Chagim were really hard. And so she wrote like, we had to write down like what makes us happy. And the first thing that came to mind, I was like, Danielle, like my daughter. And then I was like, what else makes me happy? And I was like, why is this so hard for me to like think like what makes me happy? Like what makes me happy is doing things for my husband, like, you know, like cleaning the house, cooking like a really nice dinner for us. And I was like, okay. And then I went to like therapy the next day or like a few days later, whatever it was. And I sat down, the first thing, like this was like my first meeting with a therapist. And I was like, I was just in my course and they asked like what makes us happy. And the only thing I can think of was my daughter. And I do not want to put that on her. I'm like, my happiness should not be coming from her. And like, it was such a wake up call to me. I was like, who am I like outside of motherhood? And also just like, because we're going to be doing like a lot of this together, like it's going to be her and I can't have that be on her, you know? Like, I don't want, like you see all these parenting videos, like once you're pregnant and then like once you have the kid, you're seeing all these videos on Instagram and it's always like, don't say this to your kid, say this to your kid, like make sure that they don't feel this way, make sure they don't feel that way. But regardless of all that, I was like, I know like there is no way that like my happiness, like relying on her, like that's gonna be good for her. I'm like, there's just no way. And like, I need to fix that. Like I need to work on that. Like I need to find what makes me happy. So it's so crazy that like that was like my first class and I was like, holy cow, like I needed to hear this. And that really like set the tone for like the rest of the year. Cause then I was in therapy. I was like, how am I, finding the time to like find what makes me happy? Like, what am I going to do outside of her, outside of my marriage? So it was crazy. Like we did a lot of like meditations, like finding our heart's question, like what's within. And so many like memories would come up from like with me and my ex. And it was just like hard, but it really like helped me like with getting through everything. Wow. So it was like so nice that like I was able to like use that time to like sit with my feelings and like have it kind of guided in a sense.
Wow.
It's kind of crazy that like you did that course during that time. Like that's not like a coincidence. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's lining up exactly with your story, which is
crazy.
That's really cool.
I also had actually met with her the year when I first got pregnant, and I had planned on taking the course like right after I had my daughter. But then like between October 7th, like my ex being in Miluim and also just having a baby, I was like, I want to just be home with her. Like, I don't know how it could work. I was like, like I'm not going to take the course now. And I actually chickened out. I was like, I'm not going to take the course like ever. And then my ex ended up like pushing me to like do it again. I was like, okay, I'll do it. But I fully was going to take it like the year before. And then I was like, no, like it's not, like I'm not doing it. And I like waited a year to take it. And I tell them like all the time, I'm like, it really happened. And like also the friends that I made, like I'm still so close with them. Like I love the entire group that was there. Like I really connected with all of them. So it was just like so crazy because like had I taken it the year before, which I was meant to do, like I never would have then like had this experience and been able to like help me through my divorce basically.
Wow. So what's something that you hope that people will take away from your content, from your page in general?
I think my audience is very split into like, I think just people who are there, who are looking like to just understand divorce more. And then also like there are the women who like are divorced, who have gone through it, going through it still. I guess I just want like, I don't want to say that I want divorce to be more normalized because I don't want anyone to get divorced. Like I believe that as soon as you get married, like once you're under the chuppah together with your husband, like that is your soulmate. That's the person Hashem wants you to be with for the rest of your life. But Baruch Hashem, like we have free will, and we can get divorced, and it's there like in Judaism for a reason. So I think that like, one, I want people to know that like it is an option for them. Like, should things be really bad, like there is a time to get divorced. There is a time to say like, this isn't okay, what's going on between us, we need to get divorced. I want people to know that other people are going through a tough time in their marriage. I don't think that, I understand why people don't say like, hey, me and my husband are having a really hard time, let me tell you guys all about the fight, or let me just fight with my husband in public. I understand that. But I had friends who like, I would look at their marriage and be like, wow, like everything's so perfect for you guys. You guys never fight. You have nothing to fight about. Still to this day, I don't know if they like actually like what their issues are, if they really have them. Like I still look at them like, you guys are perfect. Like I'm so jealous. But I did have like a best friend who also like had a hard time in her marriage, but she was like, between us, like between her and her husband, she's like, divorce is an option for us. She's like, that's not an option. We're going to work on things. And I'm like, I love that for you. And I wish that like that was also like the case for me. Like I wish, but it wasn't. So I want people to know like divorce is an option. I want other people to know like there's so much more. I feel like people think like, oh, you're divorced. Like that's it. There are no other feelings that like could possibly be going on. Like you chose this in a sense, but like no one chooses to not, no one wants to like then not see their kids for X amount of time. Like you just might need to get out of a bad situation. So I want people to understand there's so many other feelings that are going on also. I guess to kind of like give people this like an inside look at to like what's really going on behind the scenes. Like I was just talking, I think it was my sister, we were just talking about like payments for GAN. Because I was like, like I get paid because I'm the GAN in it. Yeah. So I was like, I don't get like how parents aren't more on top of it. Because like the end of the month is coming, like I'm already thinking, okay, so I have to pay my rent, I have to pay Arnona, water bill, Mayim, like that's like where my mind is end of the month. I'm like, okay, I hope everyone sends in payments on time. Whereas my sister was like, no, but like, she's like, of course, like the parents forget. I'm like, how could you forget? Like you have all these bills coming up. And I said to her, I was like, I think it's just really different because like, I'm sure your husband does that. Like your husband does, like he deals with your finances. Whereas like now as a mom, she deals with the kids, he does the finances. Whereas like me, I have to do both. Yeah. So even just like that, like that's where my mind is at, like the end of the month, that like most stay-at-home moms wouldn't necessarily like realize, or just like moms in general necessarily. Like I feel like usually in most couples, like the husband just deals, even like, happy couples, it's like the husband just deals with it, like regardless if you have kids or not. So like even just giving like that like little inside look of like, or like these are just how things are a little bit different here, that like it's not the same, like there's just so much still going on. And I just want people to like know like they're not alone. I guess it's not that I want it like spoken about so much, but I want people to go and get the help. Like you don't have to come talk to me, you don't have to make it publicized, but go talk to your best friend. Like tell your best friend, hey, I'm going through a really hard time in my marriage. Like don't think that you need to make everything seem perfect. Like it's okay to tell someone, it's okay to talk to someone about it.
Yeah, totally.
So I just want it like more normalized, I guess.
Yeah.
I think it also makes it so much worse when you're not telling anyone because you're holding that whole burden all by yourself, as opposed to being able to share even a little bit, like someone's holding up the burden with you,
Exactly. Yeah.
And I feel like also that, like you were talking about that transition from like, now I have to deal with the finances and I have to do like everything. I'm the adult here. And like, was that, I'm sure there were other mindset shifts that had to happen for you, going from, oh, I'm a stay-at-home mom, I don't have to worry about any logistics, and now all of a sudden I'm
everything.
Yeah, I'm by myself. What do you feel like was like the biggest mindset shift that had to happen once you were divorced?
I think really like one, I mean, there's so many like little things that I was like, okay. I also really didn't jump into anything. Like I moved in with my parents right away. Baruch Hashem, like my parents are those kind of parents who like, when I was pregnant, my mom took me to the store and she's like, okay, we want to order this stroller and don't forget this car seat. And also we're gonna get the bassinet with the stroller. And Like, I got it. I took the time, like, I moved in with my parents and, like, financially, like, I was living with them, so, like, I really didn't have much to worry about. So, like, the first shift of, like, leaving the marriage and, like, leaving that apartment, like, coming to my parents, I actually had a really hard time with, like, I felt like I was going backwards.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't believe that, like, I'm moving back in with, I think I had 5 siblings still living at my parents' house.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm moving back in with, like, my 5 youngest siblings. And, like, from me to my youngest brother, it's 13 years. I'm like, what? Like, that was so hard for me. It's like just feeling like I'm taking a huge step back. So I had to, like, get myself out of that of, like, I'm not behind anyone because I'm on my own schedule. Comparing myself.
Yeah.
Like, comparing myself to everyone, I'm like, I need to stop doing that. So that was, like, one. Also, just, like, Hashem's not punishing me. Like, it's not because I did something, like, so wrong in my life. Like, Hashem's not punishing me. So those were, like, 2 huge things that, like, I really had to work on. And also just taking, like trying to work on myself and grow from this as opposed to, like, letting it bury me. I was like, how am I going to get out of bed tomorrow? Like, what am I going to do? And so I started, like, just to take the negativity and turn it positive. I was like, okay, my marriage apart, like my marriage is over. So, like, what's the positive? Positive is that I'm going to end up with someone who's even better, that I'm not going to, like, have these struggles anymore, you know? Like, I know, like, once I get married again, like, I'll have other, like, struggles and whatever, but, you know, like, I'm not, B'ezrat Hashem, like, I won't be with someone who just, like, makes me feel so, like, little, like I'm such a bad person. So I was like, you know, like that's something that shouldn't be happening in marriage. Like, you shouldn't be, like, a bad person.
Yeah.
Like, there are very, like, normal arguments to get into over, should we spend X amount on this? What, like, how much should our rent be? You know, like, what kind of apartment are we going to look for? Or just like, hey, I don't want you going out when I have the kids, help me out a little more. Yeah. Like, those are normal things. But when you feel like a bad person, like, that's not going to happen. My next marriage, the person will always think that I'm good. They'll always see my good intention. And so, like, just focusing on, like, okay, things are going to be so much better the next time around. I think that's, like, the main thing is I do get, like, negative a lot sometimes and I just feel so down, but then I'm like, how am I going to turn this positive? Like, what's the goodness that's going to come from this?
Yeah.
So, like, just focusing on that.
It's so scary also, like, being made to feel so little like that. And, like, it really gets in your head and, like, messes with you. Do you feel like that, like, stayed with you once you already left? Like, you still had those feelings of, like, oh, like, I'm the worst, those leftovers of how you were made to feel?
I've literally, like, gone into therapy and been like, my ex said this to me, so, like, I think, like, I must need to work on that. And they're like, okay, so, like, I've been with, like, 2 therapists since, like, splitting up, just because, like, one only does in Yerushalayim and I don't go in there anymore, so I then found someone here. But I've, like, sat down and I've been like, my ex said this to me once. He told me that, like, I do this and, like, it's not normal. And they're like, okay, so, like, let's dive into it. Like, why do you think that? Like, whatever. I'm like, well, this or that. And they're like, okay, but, like, that's very normal. Like, your reaction to that's, like, so normal. There was a point when we were married that, like, I would look in the mirror and be like, how did I, like, get here? Like, I used to be that friend that everyone would, like, rave about, you know? Be like, she's so kind, like, she'll do anything for you. Like, I was that friend, so, like, how is it that, or, like, I still am that friend, you know? Like, my friends still talk about me, even though, like, I have a baby, I'm still the friend who, like, goes above and beyond. And so I'm like, how is it that, like, my husband doesn't see that? Like, and I'm like, he's the one who's supposed to see the real me, so this really must be who I am. Like, I really must be this, like, not nice, inconsiderate person. Like, I must be just, like bad, for, like, lack of a better word. Like, I must be bad.
Wow.
And that was so hard to, like, look in the mirror and be like, well, like, this is the real me. So, and I was like, okay, I have to work on this. Like, that was, like, my first thing. I was like, I'm gonna work on this, but, like, it, like, was so hard on me. And then we split up and I was like, no, like, you're wrong. Wow. Like, I'm not those things. And then, like, I was in therapy and, like I'm working on it, but like at the end of the day, I'm like, I know who I am. You don't know who I am. So like there are little like the sentences that he said to me like while we were together that like stick with me now, and like I'm trying to work through them, and I'm very nervous that they are sentences that will stick with me like into my next relationships and like later on in life. I hope that they won't, but like they are there, like they're like in that like crack in my heart, like that's what's like keeping my heart like kind of separated right now. But like I know who I am. Like I know who I am. I know that I'm a good person. But there are the things that like are still there that I'm like, I don't even like, I just don't want to remember this.
Of course.
Like I want to get it like just like so far away from me.
And I feel like it's also like, you know, the thing that heals that is the next relationship, you know? And like, I feel like a lot of times people say like, no, I can do everything myself and I can heal myself and I can whatever. And yes, that is true. And at the same time, sometimes you do need another person to be like, hey, like you're safe now, you know, and it's okay. And so I feel like, you know, it's like so powerful hearing you talk about also the future of like, yeah, when I get married again and when I do feel safe again, because like you will, and you'll, you know, you will, those cracks will go back together.
If you could go back, you know, and talk to yourself at the beginning of this chapter, what's like a sentence that you would say to yourself?
Oh, wow. I want to say that like I would just give myself a hug and say like, you can do it. I think it was like the night, maybe it was like the next night or something, but it was like within like the first like 2-3 days after he like told me like we're getting divorced. I think it might have been the night. I like sat there like right across from him like on the couch, and I was just like, I can't do this. Like I'm not gonna be okay. I was just like crying, and he's sitting like right across from me, and like I can't do it. Like I'm just like, I'm not gonna be okay. Bawling my eyes. I'm like, how am I gonna do this? Like and he said, he's like, you can do it. Like you're gonna be okay. I'm like, no. Like I'm not gonna be okay. So I guess just to like tell myself like I really didn't think I could do it. I was like, I'm gonna be living at my parents' house like until Bizrat Hashem, like I get married one day, but like who wants to, like what guy's gonna wanna date some girl who like, you know, went through a bad situation, is just living at her parents' house, like barely getting by, you know?
Yeah.
Which like there's nothing wrong living at your parents' house, but like for me, like I left the house when I was 18. Like I came to Israel for seminary, and I was on my own for 5 years, never lived in my parents' house again, and all of a sudden now married with a, like not married, but with a child, I now have to live in my parents' house. I'm like, this is not the life that I wanted, and like I wouldn't want to marry me, so what guy would want to marry me? So that I was like, how am I... And so just to like tell myself like, you're gonna be okay, like you can do it.
Yeah.
Like I can do it, and I'm doing it.
You're thriving.
You're doing great.
You're not just doing it, you're thriving.
And what do you feel like helped you, like in that moment or in the moments afterwards of like, what am I doing? I can't do this. Like, what were those little, if there were any things that were like, wait, maybe I can do this, and maybe, you know, I can, like, I'll get to the other side.
So I think just giving myself grace, like that first year, I was like, I'm just gonna, like, I'm going back to my parents' house. There's no one my age here in Zichron. No one my age here, and there's no one single.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, well, like, that sucks for, like, my dating, like, for, like, the future, you know? I'm gonna take it day by day, like, just, like, get on my feet, just, like, accept my situation, get the get, you know, figure out what our custody schedule is gonna be like, focus on, like, my daughter, helping her transition to, like, those days apart or whatever it is. So I gave myself grace that first year. Baruch Hashem, like I have an incredible family. I moved back in with 5 younger siblings, and like 3 of my siblings are still in high school. So like they were around, they were helping. And it also was just like a nice time for me to like reconnect with like my younger siblings. So like I left the house when I was 18. So I never, like my youngest brother, I think was like maybe 4 or 5 when I left. And like now all of a sudden he's like 10 years old. I'm like, oh my gosh, like, okay, this is fun.
You're a person.
Yeah. So just like really focusing on the positives, and also just like giving myself the time to like find myself, find out what it is that I want to do. Like, do I like I had to find a job and just like figuring it out. So I really like, you need to take the time.
Yeah.
Take the time day by day, and like the year goes by so quickly, and then all of a sudden like here I am in my own apartment. So like it all works out.
Yeah, totally.
Totally. How, I know you touched on this a little bit, but how do you feel like your relationship with Hashem has changed, you know, from the beginning to now, let's say?
So I grew up like modern Orthodox, and Hashem was always like, Hashem's the best. He's the best. Like, we trust him. We love him. He's like, everything's gonna work out because like he's watching over us. But it was never like, well, you have to do this mitzvah if you want Hashem to help you. Like, it was never like that. But then it got to the point where my younger sister was like, had gone to seminary. She got religious, and she got back together with her boyfriend from high school, and like they were both like just as frum as each other, and like things were working out for them. And so they started dating again, and then I got together with the guy who I had been dating in the army, and now we were like, okay, we're serious now. And I knew my sister was going to be getting engaged soon, and that like by the summer she'd be getting married. So I said to him, I was like, listen, just so you know, like I want to like at least be like engaged by her wedding. I'm like, by then, B'ezrat Hashem, you know, like we'll have been dating like X amount of time. So I feel like it's like, it'll, you know, it's good. And he was like, okay, yeah, like, you know, like when we got there, and things seemed to be on the path, and we had gone looking for rings. And then my sister got married, and we hadn't gotten engaged yet. We actually ended up breaking up. Oh, but a little bit before this, I started learning. Like I was just like in IDC, and I was like, okay, you know what? Like I just want to like learn a little more. Like I want to like go to a Shabbat meal and say like I know what the parsha is. Like very like just like simple as that. I'm like I just want to know what the parsha is. And so I started like just like reading Rabbi Sacks's book about leadership, just like before Shabbat, and sometimes I would even like write like a little Dvar Torah about it, like or just like a summary, like send it to a few friends. So that's how I kind of like started connecting again, and eventually I was like, you know what, I want to wear skirts. Like I'm gonna wear skirts, and I kept it like very like slowly. I was like, I'm just gonna like wear like a skirt, like keep it like close to my knee, but not like anything crazy, you know. So like I started like taking things on very like slowly, and then I was like, I never got that seminary experience. Like I went to SEM for less than 6 months. I was there, but the whole time that I was there, I hated it. Like I was just like, this isn't for me, or like every shiur turned into like a reason why girls shouldn't go to the army. Because I came in, I'm like, I'm going to the army, so tell me like, how can I like make my, like be strong in my Judaism so that when I go in, I don't have a chance of like losing that. And the rabbis were like, no, you just shouldn't go. I'm like, okay, well like I'm going. So like it just like, it wasn't like, I didn't like seminary. So I started like feeling like, well, like I missed out on this chance of seminary. And also at the time, like I was only 20, I think I was, or maybe I had just turned 21, and like a bunch of my friends were married, but it was only the religious girls were married. So I was like, okay, well, so there definitely was that like part in like the back of my head that was like, the religious girls are married. So like push yourself there, like get yourself there. Because once you get religious, like then you'll get married like them. And like their life looks so happy and perfect. So like then your life will be happy and perfect. So I started wearing skirts slowly. And then I ended up getting a job at like Midrashet Eshel. Like as a madricha, and I was like, okay, great, like perfect. And like I threw myself into it, like I loved it. Like I followed all of the like guidelines. They're like, okay, so you know you have to tell the girls to be shomer again. I'm like, okay, great, like no problem. And at this point, like my boyfriend at the time had already moved back to America, so I'm like, okay, great, like no problem, I got it, yeah.
I love being shomer.
So like, okay, this is great, and like dressing modestly, like I already was wearing like skirts for the most part, and like a lot of them were midi because like that's like the like nice style. Yeah. So I was like, okay, great, like so now I'm just like fully like I covered, like I didn't have to cover like to the elbow, but like whatever it was, like just like a like the oversized t-shirts, like we're so in. So it like worked out. I was like, this is so easy, I got it, no problem. I'm doing it, and like I'm just like living in the old city, so like that was my life. Me and this boy end up breaking up. And I'm like, oh, like I have to like start over again. And anyway, so I'm like, okay, whatever, like it's fine. I'm just gonna throw myself into this like world now. And it ended up naturally happening that like a friend, my co-madricha, had like her best friend over, and then like a few days later, she's sending me like some guy's resume. She's like, hey, like, what do you think? I'm like, he's so cute, like you should totally go with him, like go out with him. She's like, no, for you. I was like, oh really? Because like
Such a compliment.
and I was like, okay, like, I was like, yeah, he's so cute, like so nice for her. And then she's like, no, for you. I was like, oh, sick, okay, great. So I ended up going out, and I was just like, okay, like I guess like I'm in this like world now of like shidduch eating. Anyway, then like fast forward, I actually went out with a guy who like grew up in the old city, and had like a lot of like guilt around it, like had gone to the army, like
Built around living in the old city.
built around like his religion. Like he was brought up like very, like everything's black and white.
And this was after
I was
the
still
long
working.
distance.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I had already gone out with like 2 guys before him, and then he ended up asking me out, and we went out like on a date. And we went out on a date, and then like he didn't talk to me for like 2 days, but we both were living in the old city, so like we would like run into each other, and I'm just like, I'm so confused what's going on. He also like was driving a golf cart around the old city and like fully almost hit me like twice, and then like drove away. I'm like,
Wait. Because of the golf cart kids, like he's actually gonna go, oh my god.
It's really a tie. Yeah.
and like we like had like a relationship because like I was a madricha who was always calling him, being like, hey, can you come move this? Like, and we had this like fun like banter going on. But yeah, so then he was like, fully almost like hit me and then like drove away. I'm like, I'm so confused what's going on, but okay. We end up like 2 days later. I don't know how, but like I don't know if I messaged him and was like, no, like what the heck is going on?
Right.
Or like he said something. Anyway, he's like, let's like meet up and talk. I'm like, okay.
In his golf cart?
Not on the golf cart. No, we ditched that. We like went like on the side, and because like we didn't like want the girls to see or anything, so we're like just like talking. And I was like, okay, so like what's up? He's like, well, like I wouldn't feel comfortable if one day like I go to your house and like your mom's in pants. Or he said, I mentioned to him like I don't cover my elbows, and he's like, you don't even cover your elbows, like. Why are you doing anything else? Like, you're not, like, a religious girl. I'm like, what? Like, because you can see my elbows, like, I'm not, like, he's like, yeah, like, it's all or nothing. I'm like, no, it's not all or nothing. And I literally, like, after that conversation, like, went to, like, the roof of, like, the seminary. I'm just, like, sitting there. I'm like, I'm so confused. I'm like, is it all or nothing? Like, does Hashem, like, still appreciate what I, like, do my mitzvot still count? And so that like threw me into like this whole like spiral. I was just like, oh my God, like what? And it like just like sat with me for so long. It was so hard for me to like come to terms with that. And I called a friend and she's like, no, like this guy literally like who like knows him. She's like, he has no idea like what he's talking about. Like do not listen to anything he says. So I'm like, okay, fine. But like, so I tried like pushing that aside, like kept going with my life. Less than like a month later, I like met my husband. We ended up getting married. And like at this point, I loved the like religious vibe. I'm like, I'm in it. Like I love dressing like modestly. I'm so excited to cover my hair. Like I went into hair covering. I'm like, I want to do like cover it all. I'm like, it's all going to be covered always. I'm going to wear a wig or like I'll be in a tichel, like whatever it is. But like, if I want to wear my hair half down, like I'm going to have a fall on. Like I was like, it's all or nothing for me. Also going into it, my like fiance at the time was like, okay, I just learned about like the mikvah and everything. And like, I want us to be like, very like strict about it, like no touching, nothing, like we're gonna keep like everything. I'm like, okay, this seems like a lot, but like okay, we got it. Like yeah, because when you like follow like these mitzvot, like it brings the Shekhinah into your home, and like I want Hashem there so that like he'll protect us, like we'll have shalom bayit, all of it. And then I was like married, and I would go to the mikvah like just so like after having like such a hard 2 weeks of being in Nida, like it was just so hard because you want to connect, but also like how do you connect like when you're freshly married and you know just coming from like being shomer negia to then being married, and you're just like, but like we're supposed to be able to touch now, or like even just hold hands. Like I feel like that's like the one thing when you're shomer negia, like you're supposed to hold their hand,
Just a hug.
yeah, literally just a hug. You're just like I like just like literally anything. It doesn't even have to be like so intimate, but just that like little thing. So then to like 2 weeks Nida, I'm like, oh my God, like, and like we're just like getting into like more fights, it feels like. But like I would go to the mikveh just like, Hashem, please, like I don't know what it is that like why he's so upset about this or that, or like why I'm getting so upset about this, like just like please, like, and like I'd go into the mikveh thinking like I'm gonna dip and like I'm gonna come out with like, you know, in those movies when like that like supernatural creature comes out of the water and they're like glowing, like that's literally how I like would picture myself like coming out of the mikveh with like the water on me. I like wouldn't even shower after the mikveh because they're like the water's so holy, like
Let it seep into your skin.
so literally like I was just like, okay, like mikveh, like do your like thing, do your power. So I was just like I really just felt like these mitzvot and everything that I was doing like would bring like Hashem, like I just didn't feel him. I was like, I don't know where you are, but like you're not here in my home with me. Like I don't know what is going on here. I don't know like what else it is that I could do, because I already felt like I was just doing everything between therapy, like just trying to like cook as much as I could, and not that like he wanted that, but that like I was like, well, that's what a good wife does, you know, like she cooks, and I was pregnant and I was like, I just feel like I'm doing all of it, and all my friends are telling me you're such a great person, you're the best person in the world, but here I am, I feel so bad, like Hashem, I'm so confused, like where are you, what do I do? And I was wearing the wig, I was like, my brother-in-law would come and like stay at my apartment for like 2 weeks at a time. So like even in my own home, I'd be walking around like with a tichel on 24/7. I was just like I'm just like, what? And like I'm the type of person who like now I know like for like my next relationship that like however I choose to cover my hair, like I could just wear like I was like, you know what, I just want to wear like a headband in front of my brother-in-law, like have something on, but like this is my home, I don't want to have a full tichel on. But I was like, no, there's so much going on in my marriage, I need to keep the tichel on, because like Hashem's not hearing me. It's not that Hashem's not hearing me, it's that maybe it's more that I like wasn't connecting with the mitzvot, or like I didn't make it my own yet.
Did you feel like that by like, oh, if I put on the tichel, my marriage would get better?
Yeah, like I was like, they say like about, like it's like when you daven, I've heard this analogy of like, the kotel is like your Wi-Fi router. So like wherever you are in the world, like you can connect with Hashem. But like when you get closer to that Wi-Fi router, like your connection is better. So it's like when you're at the kotel, like your connection is better. So I kind of thought like, well, if I put on the tichel, if I'm dressing completely modestly, if I'm keeping like all of the like halachot of like nida and all of that, then like my connection will be stronger. And then like that's like when, you know, like I'll feel Hashem, or, you know, like I'll be able to like connect with him, or like I'll see what he's doing here. Like I could not see what was going on. I was just like, I don't get it. So I was like I was looking for that, for like that connection, and I just like I couldn't feel it. I was like, I don't like get why. And then I like was just trying all this stuff, and then we ended up like splitting up. I was 9 months pregnant. We split up like before we got married in November, so this was like September we split up. So like before we even meet, it's like our 1 year anniversary. Wow. And we split up, like I thought we were getting divorced. We ended up getting back together. And this time around, I'm like, you know what? Like I don't really connect with like fully covering my hair. Or like when I'm in my parents' home and my brother-in-law's there, or when my brother-in-law is staying at my house, like I want to wear a headband. So I'm going to wear a headband. I was like, this is how I can connect with hair covering, so this is how I'm going to do it. Or like when it came to davening, like this is the time that I have to do it. Like I don't have the time to do like the full thing because now I'm a mom. Like I'm gonna say what I can say, and like that's good enough. Like I know that Hashem will still appreciate that. Or skirts, I was like, you know what? I want to go to the beach and I don't want to be in an entire dress, so I'm gonna wear like a little sundress. Or so I started like just taking the mitzvot, like connecting with them, like how I connected it. I didn't put pressure on it. How does it look to like the rest of everyone else? Like I just like let it be. And so like from there I was like, okay, this is so nice. Then we ended up getting divorced, and I like still am like finding myself. I know that there's no way I would have gotten out of bed that next day, like had it not been for Hashem. Like had it not been for Hashem literally picking me up out of my bed and saying like, you have work to do. Like, you have your daughter here, you have things to do, she needs you, like, let's go. Like, I know that, I know I wouldn't be here today, like, in my own home, like, Baruch Hashem, supporting myself, supporting my daughter. Like, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the, like, traits, the attributes that, like, he's given me throughout my life. Like, I know that. But I also know that, like, Judaism looks different for everyone, and your connection with Hashem, no one can see it because it's within. It's not how you're dressed. It's not how often you go to shul. It's not how much tzedakah everyone else sees that you're giving. Like, it's what you do in your home. It's what, like, you do in your heart. So, like, I know that Hashem is, like, with me 24/7 and through everything. Like, I know I have nothing without him. But at the moment, I'm just not fully connecting with, like, his mitzvot. But, like, I know it's all Hashem, and, like, he's the one that I'm like I cry. Like, when I cry, like, I sit there and I talk with Hashem. I'm like, Hashem, like, what is going on? Like, why is this happening to me? Like I just talk with him. I write in my journal, and, like, I'm writing to Hashem. I'm just like, you know, like, hey, like, this is what happened. But like he really is, like, the center of my world. And I really, like, I want my home to be, like, a Jewish home. And but yeah, so my relationship with him, like, there are times when I sit there and I'm just like, Hashem, why are you doing this to me? Like, why is this happening? Like, what is going on? And I'm just like, why do I have all this pain in my life? But
that's really also powerful.
Yeah, it is. I was just going to say that, like, it's not Muvan Me'elav at all that you're saying he's 100% what picked me up. He's 100% there. Like, I think that's so impressive that you can even say that. And, like, it shows how connected you are just from those sentences. Like, that's not, like, it's not about skirt or not skirt. It's about, like, the fact that you know for a fact that you're saying that, like, he's with you, whether, you know, you understand and you can be mad at him, of course. It's just, like, that's not, like, it's like, oh, yeah, the outside or this and that. It doesn't matter necessarily because you're talking about, like, you know that he's with you. And, like, that's not Muvan Me'elav at all.
Yeah. In high school, I had heard one of the rabbis gave us, like, this shiur, and he just was saying, like, a kid came to him and was like, I'm so mad at Hashem. Like, he was talking about they, like, had just gone on March of the Living, and he's like, I'm so mad at him. And he's like, okay, well, you're mad at, like, that's what happens when you're in a relationship with someone. Like, you get mad at them. So, like, that stuck with me throughout, like, everything. Like, that's one of those things that, like, you know, those things, like, you hear once and then, like, those lines are stuck with you. Like, totally. That is something that has stuck with me, that I'm like, I have a relationship with Hashem right now. We're not necessarily in a good place. I think also, like, I look at these situations, I'm like, there are so many mothers who, like, getting divorced, who would just want to sit in bed all day. So, like, and I'm sure that there are people who do that, like, mothers who will just say, like, I'm staying in bed, like, I can't deal with this. So, like, how can I say, like, oh, I'm different because I'm so strong? Like, no, it's Hashem. Hashem was like, hey, like, let's go. Like, there's something better. And, like, because I focus on that too. I'm like, there's something better. Like, there's something better that I need to be getting ready for. Like, that's what it is. I have to get ready for this. It's like, I guess, like, I'm so focused also on Mashiach coming. So I'm like, okay, so, like, what is it that I'm going to do today that's going to, like, bring Mashiach? What am I going to do today that's going to bring my husband to me?
Yeah,
wow,
for sure. Amazing. And it really, like, gives you purpose. Did you feel like your family and friends were, like, noticing changes in you? And then now when you look back, are you like, oh, wow, like, those were earlier signs that I could have seen?
So it's so crazy because, like, no one noticed anything. Wow. Like, literally, like, I remember my ex, actually, we were going through a really rough time. We had been in therapy already. And he was like, I just don't, like, get this about you. So, like, do you mind if I talk to, like, your dad about it? I'm like, okay, like, my dad will, like, I'm like, you can, but he's not going to be helpful. Like, I'm just telling you, like, okay. But, so anyway, so he went to talk to my dad, and then my dad told my mom, like, hey, he came over to me, he said, like, they're having problems. And my mom came to me, she's like, you're having problems? Like, what? Wow. And this was already, like, we were maybe, like, 6 months into our marriage. I was already a few months pregnant. And so I started, like, getting into, like, the little things with my mom, and we talked about it, like, more openly, but, like, they had no idea. My parents knew nothing. I had one best friend who, like, I would go to and be like, she had already been married for, like, about 1.5 years or maybe even 2 years. And she was, and like I would talk to her, and like she would sit with me, we would talk it through, and she was like, oh, like this also, like this has happened in my marriage, or, you know, like, yeah, like I also get upset when that happens, but like maybe if you like do this, or, you know, like say something to him, like bring it up, that like it's like that wasn't so nice of him, but like, you know. So like I had my best friend that like I would go to, like that I could talk like openly about this with, but even like when I remember texting, when we first split up, I really didn't want to tell anyone. And I remember I thought my mom had told already like my sister and brother-in-law. And then they came to Israel, and my brother-in-law was like, so when's he coming? Because it was like the Chagim time and I had already come up. He's like, so when's he coming? And I was like, I said something like, I don't know if I said like, oh, like never, or if I was like, that's a great question. And I like thought he kind of like got it, but I was like, oh, like I guess they don't know. And then my sister, I was like very pregnant at this point, and my sister was also pregnant. She's like, oh, so are you gonna like keep living in the same apartment like in Yerushalayim next year? I was like, I don't. No. I was like, no, like we split up. Like we're not, like we're getting divorced. She was like, wait, what?
Oh my God.
I literally like had been living at my parents for already, like a month already. And she was like, wait, what? So I always want to like differentiate, like he is a really good person. He's a great person. There were little things in our relationship, like now, like I always like play it back, or like I see photos on my phone and then I think back to like, oh, like I remember having this argument like when we were planning our wedding. And I remember the way that we argued. Like I argue very loudly and he's like more quiet, even to the point of like he'll walk away and be like, we're not like talking about this, you know, like we need to take a breath and like stop this argument, like we're not getting anywhere. Whereas like I want to talk about things. And so like, yeah, like I could look back at like those points, but those were things that I never told anyone, because I was like, couples all the time like argue when they're planning their wedding. Like there are things that are going to come up. And I also went into it with like, well, my brother-in-law did nothing to like plan his wedding. Like he showed up to the wedding. He's like, wow, you guys did a great job. Whereas like my ex was like, all of a sudden he's like, oh, I want to know what color flowers we're going to have. I'm like, really? Like, okay.
It's a girl's job.
Yeah.
Right. Like, so like he was like, I just don't want to show up on my wedding day and like not know like what the place is going to look like. I'm like, okay, I totally get that. Like that's totally valid. I also didn't have like an inspo board where I was like, well, this is like, you know, whatever. So, but like if I look back, I could look back at like these arguments that we had and said like, oh, you know what, like this could become a bigger problem for us. That like if now while we're engaged, like we have a hard time like talking and like working things out, like that might come up for us when we're married, like maybe we should go talk about this, or like maybe we should look into it a little more between the two of us, like really discuss it and say like, hey, I noticed that you argue like this, I argue like this, and we really don't come to like a conclusion. Like what's going to happen once we're married, and like we have to come to an agreement. Like that might have been a good idea, but he's not the type of person, or like there were never things in our relationship that people could be like, oh no, like I noticed this, like he's not, like I saw them interacting this way and it's just like it's not going to work. I think that's a red flag. Like never. And to the point where like once we were getting divorced, I called my friends, and like I called one of my best friends one time and I was like, I just want to let you know, like we're getting divorced. And she was like, wait, what? Wow. She was so, and like, because she didn't even know we had split up that first time around, I don't think. Because that first time around, I was like, no, like we're getting back together. Like I was 9 months pregnant. I'm like, there is no way that like we're not gonna get back together. I'm like, no chance. Like he's gonna like really like, you know, like pull the trigger on this. Like we're getting back together. That Rosh Hashanah, like it was over the Chagim. Like I was in shul. I was one of the first people in shul. Like definitely in the women's section. I was like the first there. Like I was so pregnant, so like I was waking up early. I'm like, I'm just gonna get out of the house, like go to shul, daven, like just like crying. Like Yom Kippur, I literally like I did shurim to like, cause like I was 36 weeks pregnant, but like I fasted the entire thing. Like I was in shul davening the whole thing, to the point where like at the end I was saying, like I literally felt like contractions starting. Like I was so dehydrated. Like it literally started. I like got home, like started drinking. I'm like, okay, great. Like everything like was fine. But anyway, so like I really just was like, I was like, I know we're gonna get back together, but so like I didn't want to tell anyone. like people at shul, my brother-in-law goes to Uman for Rosh Hashanah every year. So they're like, oh, like he's in Uman too for Rosh Hashanah? I'm like, he's in Netanya. They're like, oh, okay. Because like I couldn't lie, like I didn't have it in me. But also like, so I was just like, yeah, like he's in Rosh, or like Simchat Torah, when people ask me, they're like, oh, like, so where is he? I'm like, oh, well, like I'm just so pregnant and like he wants to be in Yerushalayim with our friends before the baby comes. Right. I guess I did lie in that sense, but I was like, yeah, like he's with his friends, you know, like, and like I'm just so pregnant. I want to be at my parents. Like I just want to be with them. So people are like, okay, like whatever. I actually didn't know this. I don't know if it was the first time or the second time that we had split up, but like again, like they were both like right before the Chagim, and my mom, to anyone that like we went to, I think it was the first time we split up, so I'm assuming probably the second time she also did it, but when we split up, we weren't going to be together for the Chagim, and like we still were going out for meals. My mom reached out to the families beforehand to say like, hey, like, please don't ask, like, where he is.
Wow. Oh my God.
I didn't know this, but my sister only told me this, like a while, like, I think, like, way after we, like, got divorced, everything was, like, official. I was like, because I remember, like, going to people's homes, being, like, ready for, like, the question, and, like, it never came. I was like, wow. Okay, so interesting. Like, I guess because, like, everyone knows my, like, brother-in-law's in Uman, so I guess they're all just, like, assuming that. But they didn't. Like they all like they knew, and no one said anything. And I was like now I'm like, wow, I'm like so appreciative for that.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, but yeah, he's a great person. Like I think like people just like assume they're like, well, you dated for too short. Right. Like we dated for like 3-4 months, and I'm like, no, because there are people who did that. You know, out, like it works. They're happily married today. Like whatever. But he's a great person. There really were like no red flags.
Do you feel like there's something that people assume about you a lot that is just not true?
I think that like with the situation, I feel like people assume that something like happened. Like something like it must be that like one of them cheated, or like there were like someone was abusive emotionally, physically. I feel like people like assume like there's like some big story there. When like it really like it just didn't work out. I feel like that's like one.
I feel like that first one's a really like, yeah, that makes so much sense. And I feel like also what you're describing is like a very, like also what you were saying before, it's like I went through a breakup, you know, it's a breakup, and like what you're describing sounds like, I don't want to say normal, but like sounds like a very like, I know tons of people who are in relationships like that. They just broke up, you know what I'm saying? So it's like very a normal thing for a girl to go through, of like finding herself and learning that respect. And yeah, so it's like it's interesting that people assume something way bigger just because you guys were married, when in reality it's like, you know, we're just both learning.
Right. I think also people like assume that when it comes to like dating, maybe I feel like people like assume that like I'm like looking for like another father for my child. Right. I'm like, no. I messaged someone like about like a guy. I was like, hey, like what about him? And he was like, well, I don't think that like he wants to date. He said something like, I don't think he's interested in like dating like a child. Like talking about my daughter. Oh, what? How'd he phrase it? He phrased it something like, oh, like, I don't think, like, he's interested in, like, being with, like, a baby or something like that. Sure. And I was like, well, it's a really good thing my daughter's too young to date. Yeah. Like, what? And he's like, no, but you know what I mean. I'm like, I do know what you mean, but also, like... No.
I'm sorry.
Okay, like...
That's just crazy because to me, like, obviously I get the idea of it theoretically, but, like, why would someone... It's so chaval for anyone to pass up like an amazing, awesome, like quality person just because of like their small child. Like it's so chaval. Like,
right.
You know what I mean? And I get it, but like it's much more than that. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know?
I also feel like it's not like, right, that is like people assume, oh, I have to be a dad now. When it's like, wait, like talk about it. See where this person's at. Like, do you feel like your perspective on like dating and relationships is different now that you've gone through divorce and dating and marriage, and now you're like, it's a totally different ballgame?
Yes, for sure. It's my perspective is so different now. I also, though, it's so different. There are parts of me that I'm like, I really hope, though, that I don't want to go into a relationship. Like, I feel like people like it was a traumatic experience. What I went through, it was a traumatic experience. And I don't want to go into the next relationship being like, having all these assumptions of like you see, it's like the classic, like, oh, you're going to cheat on me, you're cheating on me, you're cheating on me. And then eventually the guy goes and cheats on her and she's like, see, I knew you were going to do it. And he's like,
oh my gosh.
but like you basically push him into doing it. Like not that anyone deserves that and whatever, like you can't control someone else. But like when you tell someone you're a cheater, and they're like, no, I'm not. Eventually they turn into that thing that you keep telling them that they are.
Yeah.
So part of me, like, which is one of the reasons like why I want to be in therapy and like just like really like analyze my relationship, like everything that I can to like be in the right place. I have such a different perspective now also because like I do have my daughter, but like obviously like any man that like I would ever bring home or just like allow to be here like with her, you know, like I think about him like one day like I'm gonna want him to like stay over for Shabbat, you know, like I have 2 bedrooms here, Baruch Hashem, and like I'll want him to stay over for Shabbat, but also like you never know anyone and you know like horrible things happen to children and like I would never want to bring that like into my home. So like that's one thing that I'm like, how will I like know someone well? Like you hear these crazy stories and like it like sticks with me because like I just feel like with all of me I need to protect my child. So like that's like one thing that like comes to mind, but I feel like that's just because like I'm such an overthinker and like I watch too much like SUV and all that.
Welcome, us too. Yeah.
Things like that like come to mind a lot, or like, you know, what if I take her to like his home one day and like I don't know his family, like, you know.
Of course.
So like there's all of that. But yeah, just like dating in general now, it's so different. Or like I went on a date recently and he's like, okay, so we could go at like 8 or at 9. I'm like 8.
Yeah.
And we literally were the first people there, like at the restaurant. There was no one there. It was like this nice restaurant in Tel Aviv, no one else around.
It's the best though.
Yeah.
It was really nice. Like it was nice, quiet. Yeah, I was like, okay, this is like, it was like nice, but also I'm like, it's also funny though, because I guess people also assume that like now that I'm a mom, like I don't like want to go and do these things, but I'm like, I also want to enjoy this like time being single now. So I'm like, I want to go out with my friends and like go grab a drink, like do what I can when I can, but also like I went out recently with like a friend and she made a comment of like, she asked like, oh, so like, are you dating right now? And I was like, at the moment, like, I haven't gone on a date in like a few months now. I'm not like on any app. I was just like, it's not really like, I like tried it. I like didn't really work. I'm not gonna like try that right now because it kind of like just like brings my self-esteem down a little bit.
So scary.
So I was like, I'm not gonna try that now. So like I've like reached out to friends being like, hey, just so you know, like I'm dating. Like I've told all the people I need to tell, and you know, like if someone to suggest someone, like I'd consider it. But I like kind of say like I'm taking a break right now in a sense of like, nothing's like coming up. I'm not necessarily like out there looking, like going to shul being like, hey, do you know that guy? Like, could you like set it up, you know?
Yeah.
A friend asked me like, are you dating? I was like, well, I'm kind of taking a break. Like, I'm not actively looking, but like, should something come my way, like I'm open to hearing about it and like I'll consider it, like if it feels mateen for me. And she was like, okay, because like I wanted to tell you, like, I don't think that like you should be dating. I don't think you're ready.
What did you say to that?
I was just like, okay, and she got a little more into it. She's like, well, like I just feel like you've never really taken time to yourself. And I was like, I kind of like left it. It was a very close friend. So I was just like, there's no reason for us. Like I know where I'm at. Like she's never been in this situation. Like she doesn't know. We're also very different. Like religiously, we're on very different spectrums. So I was just like, regardless, it happens to be that like we see things very differently. So it's like there's really no point in me getting into it. So like I heard her out. I'm like, I hear you. And like those also were concerns that I had. So that's why like I went to therapy and, you know, like I talk it out with my therapist. But then like it kind of sat on me because I was like, maybe a lot of people feel this way. Like maybe that's one of the reasons why guys like don't want to go out with me now, you know, like if my friend, I don't know if my friends are like recommending me to people or not, but so like if they are, maybe that's one thing that like people think. And then it also happened to be that like maybe a week or so later, I was in a delivery room with a client, and they actually, the midwife was like, oh, you're so cute. Like, are you religious? I'm like, yeah. And she was like, oh, like, and you're single? Like I have someone in mind for you. I was like,
so sick. Delivery room.
Yeah, like, but just so you know, like I have a 2-year-old daughter. And she was like, oh, like what? I was like, yeah, like I'm divorced. And she's like, oh, how long like has it been? I'm like, well, we separated like about 1.5 years ago. She's like, oh, so like it's still like, it's so new. And then she never came to me, like didn't get my like information after that. So I was like, okay, like whatever. It was just like very much so like sitting on me, like that like maybe I shouldn't be dating. Maybe people think I shouldn't be dating now. Yeah. And I then saw a snippet from like a podcast that it was with Rabbi D.
Yeah.
And his new wife. And he was saying how when the whole accident happened with his wife and his kids, and then he was talking about like starting to date again, and that every Friday night, like he would cry because he was so lonely and like he wanted a partner. And so he said to himself like, well, if I'm so lonely, like what can I do about it? So he started dating and he got married. Yeah. So I guess that's also like, that kind of was like what I needed to hear was like, no, it's so normal that like I'm dating now. Like everyone has their own timeline. Baruch Hashem, like I feel ready to date. Like I've spoken about it with like professionals, you could say, like, and like I think that that's something like between me and my therapist, and like not even my therapist, like I could on my own say I'm ready to date, and like that's okay for me. Yeah. When he said that, like, so what am I gonna do? And I was like, you're right, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna date, I'm gonna get myself out there, like I'm gonna like fix this in a sense.
Sure. Yeah, it's also like something that only you can say for sure, meaning like people can have opinions, which I think is, you know, sometimes important to listen to of, oh, you have a different perspective, that's helpful. But at the end of the day, with the decision, it's fully you know yourself best and you know if you're ready. There's no right or wrong time. Like someone could be ready 2 months later, someone could be ready 3 years later. There's no right or wrong here.
I think also like I could look at a relationship and be like, I don't like that your husband does that. Yeah. But that person doesn't care.
Yeah, right.
So like, I might say, hey, I think that's a red flag, but to her, she's like,
no, it's so cute. Yeah.
We talk about that like, all the time. Yeah.
With this friend specifically, I'm like, I know that like your relationship is going to look so different than like what my relationship will look like one day. And like, that's so great for you. Like, this is so great for me. Like, we don't, you know, I don't like need your approval in a sense. But yeah, like everyone's red flags are going to be so different than the next. Because America now, like you can see that they're like these women who are like, oh, well, these women who want to stay home, like their husbands are oppressing them. And these girls are just like, what do you mean oppression? Like, what? Like, I'm so thankful that he provides for me. Like, this is life. And so it's just like, it's your perspective.
Yeah. Do you have any advice that you would give to someone who's like also going through a divorce with a child involved?
My first advice would be to get a lawyer.
Yeah.
Like, even if it's just to sit down with someone, like, just get a lawyer. Tell them, like, your story. Write down, like, I actually have a friend who, like, reached out recently and was like, hey, like, you know, like, things haven't been so good. I'm like, I really hope that you guys can work things out. But write down, like, everything that goes on, like, especially when you have a child involved. Write down, like, when he leaves, when he's home, like write it all down. I'm like, just keep it. I'm like, my mom said to me when we first split up, she was like, and then we got back together, she was like, write it down. I was like, no, because things are going to work out. Like, I don't want to have that like contingency plan. Yeah. Kind of like a prenup. Right. Like, I was like, I don't want to have that like contingency plan. Because then like, if I do, then it means that I'm planning for like things to not work out. So I didn't, and then this happened. That would be my first thing to say. Like, I say it just like, just do it. Like, I hope you won't have to use it, but do it. Get a lawyer. Don't file any paperwork, but get a lawyer. Have it all ready so that, God forbid, like, should all that start, like, happening, that, like, you're ready, you're set up.
Who or what has been your biggest support system throughout this entire journey?
Oh, my gosh. Wow, Baruch Hashem. Okay, so first of all, Hashem. Like, Hashem and everything. Thank God the most consistent thing would be my parents. Mm-hmm. My parents, and then it's my siblings. Like, each of them in, like, their own way has shown up for me, like, in just, like, a different way. Whether it's, like, my parents just, like, with all the financial help that, like, they gave us. And, like, even now, I was having, like, a tough time with, like, one of the kids in the gan. And I was talking about it to my parents so much, and my dad was like, kick them out and I will pay their tuition. He's like, I don't want to hear about it anymore. Like, it's giving you too much stress. Just kick them out. Like Baruch Hashem, we worked everything out with the kid. But yeah, like Baruch Hashem, like my parents just like in their own like different ways are just like being there for me. It's actually really hard for me to like it's funny because I think like everyone thinks like, wow, she's so vulnerable. Like, it's so easy for her to be vulnerable. Like, I'm being so vulnerable online. But for me to like stand in front of a camera and like no one's around me when I do this, like I can't film in front of my family. I can't film in front of like in front of anyone, but like I can't do it in front of my family because then it feels like I'm telling them how I feel, and like I can't do that. So this Instagram also was kind of like a really nice way for me to like let my family know how I feel. My dad always tries to like hold the space for me basically, and like we'll just be in a car ride or like just sitting next to like him like at Friday night dinner. He's like, "Are you okay? Like, is everything okay? Like, do you want to talk about anything?" And I'm always just like, I'm like fine. And like there are times when like I literally just want to like start bawling my eyes out, but like it's so hard for me to like be vulnerable with them, so I don't. I'm just like, yeah, I'm fine, like I'm okay, I'm great, like thanks for asking. But it's like it's so nice like that comes from my dad, really. Baruch Hashem, like my mom is incredible, like really all my siblings. I also have like such amazing friends like here in Zichron who like really like my daughter, her best friend, he happens to be between like him and like the sibling above him is like maybe like an 8-year age gap. And so like I was talking with like his mom, who's actually my mom's best friend, who has become my best friend because like now our kids are best friends. So I was like, they're like, he's like her brother, like they're like siblings basically. So like just having these people here who like I could talk to, like it's really coming like from like this one was my mom's best friend, and now she's like my best friend basically, and like she's the one who like I really feel like I'm able to say like with nursing, I was like I don't know how to stop, and like part of me doesn't want to stop because I don't know like if I'll ever, I know that I will have kids again, but sometimes it does feel like maybe I won't.
Of course.
And so I'm like I'm so nervous to like never have this again. And so she'll like be here in my home because like she drops her kid off for gun, and then so like she'll be here and be like, you're gonna have kids again, like I know you are, like so like the way she talks, she's just like, I know like this is gonna happen for you, you're the best, like she's like the thing she says is like exactly what I want to hear. Then she'll leave, and like whether it's a half hour later or like a few hours later, she'll send me a voice note and be like, I just want to tell you again, I know you're gonna have kids, you're an incredible mom, I know that you're gonna have like this many kids and you're gonna be able to do this like so many times, you're gonna be with the best person. So like she's also like my friend Emily, like my mom's best friend, who's now my best friend.
Shout out Emily.
Yeah.
And then I also have like my other like friend who also is just like, who also like sends her kid here to like Gun, but she's just like, they're so supportive, and like it's really come from like these people who like I never thought like our relationship would be here because we were just like in separate circles or like just in different places in our lives, and now here they are like really just like, it's funny, but like my biggest support, because going into this I was like, well, I have these best friends, like they're going to be here for me. Yeah. But, like they also have their own things going on, like now they're so far away, and now like I've been able to like grow my circle like here in Zichron, and so like the people I thought that like would be there for me the most, not that like they weren't, but like they didn't even necessarily know like what was going on, you know, like we kind of just like had this distance between us. And so like these other people have really shown up for me, and I'm just like, wow, like it like kind of feels like even my neighbor saw me taking out the trash one day, and it was like at night in the evening time with Danielle, and she's like, if you ever want to take out the trash, like just knock on my door, like I'll come sit in the apartment.
That's so cute.
Like, but had it been like so I have an old lady neighbor, and then I have like an older man. Old lady I would let like sit in my apartment and watch her, but like leave her here for a minute or two. But like the old man, I would even ask him like if I had to run out, like to throw it out, like and she was asleep, like, and they've been like, what can I do for you? Like my neighbors here, I'm like, you wouldn't get this like anywhere else. Like this is Israel. Yeah. Like this is Israel. So
it's so true. Wow. That's so special and so sweet. And like that's amazing that you felt like you've had a support system and then a growing one that came with whatever you were going through at the time.
Yeah.
Do you feel like there was a moment that, you know, at first you were like, I can't do this. I'm never doing this. I'm not going to be okay. When was that moment of like, maybe I will be okay, and like maybe I can do this?
It was towards the end of my doula course. I started getting this idea of like, maybe I'll move out. And I reached out to like 2 of my like best friends, and I was just like, hey, like I'm thinking of like moving out of my parents' house, like getting my own place, doing like, this is how like I'll support myself. And they're like, why would you move out? I was like, what do you mean? They're like it's okay like to just like stay at your parents' house, like wait till you get married again. And I was like I can't do that. But I was like, it's just like, it's not for me. I was like, it's not for me to like stay in my parents' house. It's not for me to stay in my parents' house. And I don't think that like I'll make the progress that like I need to make. There was a click one day where I was just like, had I not gotten divorced, I feel like none of this like potential would have been unlocked. I feel like I now like have this like magic power that like I never thought like I'd be able to do, where like I can support myself financially. And Zat Hashem, one day like when I'm in a relationship, like now I know like I always wanted, like my dream is just like be a stay-at-home mom. But now that like I know like I'm amazing with, like I always knew I was great with kids, but like now that like I know like I can run a full gon, you know, like once I have more kids, like I could still continue to do that in my home, or like I could open like a real gon. Like that's something I never would have known I could do had I not like been here. Like there are all these like little things that I'm like, wow, like wait, like I can do this. Yeah. And like had I been in that marriage, I never would have, like I never would have tried to, because I would have always just been like, well, my husband's supporting me, so like I don't need to do anything. And like there is this like confidence that I now have with like I support myself. Yeah. And like I can do this, and that's something like I do, or like whether it is just staying like as a doula, you know, hopefully like that will be like my main source of income one day. So like that, like I'll have that. There's been this like potential that like I unlocked like along the way. Like it took time. It was like this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened. And then there was that day where I was like, that's crazy, because like if I didn't get divorced, I never would have even attempted to like unlock this potential that I had within me. And like I guess that's part of also why like I really give credit to Hashem, because I'm like, Hashem gave me like all of these strengths, and he gave me like that I could do all of this. So he just, I never tried using it, so he gave me an opportunity to use it because I wasn't using it. So he's like, hello, like you have things to do, so use them, here you go, now you have to.
Wow.
So cool that you're also able to notice that, like, and really realize it, because like you can be like, yeah, well, of course I'm supporting myself, like obviously I'm divorced, like what am I supposed to do? But like that is so cool that you're able to see that and like really like, yeah, get the potential that was inside of you, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. That's, wow, that's really special and like awesome that you've been able to do that. Is there anything else that you feel like you want to share, you want people to know, any message that you want to like send to people?
Message? I really just don't want there to be like such taboo around anything. Mm-hmm. Like when it comes to marriage, like from A to Z, like all of it, whether it's someone who's married, if you're going through a hard time, you're not going through a hard time, you're getting divorced, you have kids, don't have kids, like whatever it is, intimacy, like things in the bedroom, like it's not that it needs to be talked about publicly. Like you don't need someone to get onto a podcast and say like, hey, this is like this can be really hard in the bedroom, but let me tell you like what worked for me. Like, no, I understand no couple wants to do that. And like, B'ezrat Hashem, I also probably like would never talk about that, but like go to someone, whether it's a friend, if you just ask them like, hey, because everyone's struggling with like very similar things. Yeah. Everyone has something to say about what worked for them, what didn't. So I think just like ask people, like, and you don't have to tell them into details, but I just want, like my message would be like, just ask for help. Wherever you are in life, ask for help, because they're 100%, whatever it is you're going through, even if it's not that someone's going through the exact same thing. I say this all the time, like someone could be like exact copy like story of me, like literally from like the time that they were married, like got divorced, split up, like back and forth, all of that. Like someone could literally be the same exact story, but they were raised in a totally different home. Yeah. They were raised completely different. Their emotions are totally different than mine. So even though it might be the same story, we're such different people that we might not necessarily be able to help each other, but there could, even if it's just one line that she gives me, or even if it's that she's able to point me to the right people to then go talk to, like ask for help wherever, like whatever it is you're going through, like just ask for help.
Really. Go to therapy, guys. Please, I'm begging you.
If you take anything from this episode.
That's our number one advice line. Please go to therapy. Wow. Thank you so much, Charlotte. Seriously, I'm like walking away like so inspired.
But thank you so much for taking the time, finding someone to watch your daughter, and you know, sharing with us and whoever's watching. And go follow Charlotte on Instagram.
Yeah. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thanks for watching.